All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol TSLA, Tesla Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. Hope you guys find this video helpful and informative, and it means you well. To all my subscribers, I want to say welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So Tesla has had a wild ride, obviously, after the split. I want to continue pointing this out for all of you guys that are first-time viewers or coming across this video as we analyze these charts. 538.39, 538 and some change, I'd say. But anything above 538 will break through the main resistance point, which is the highest point this stock has reached. And from that point forward, this stock started to tumble down, taking control of the bears. They broke through the 50-day moving average, and it took a couple days for the bulls to reappear and break through it, but they weren't able to hold up. And the bears tore this down to lows of 308, 310, anywhere in that area. I don't know the exact number right now, as we can see here in the chart, but 308 is fairly close to that low that this stock reached. And I want to point out the importance of 308 and 538 because 308 is our true support level here. Looking forward on this stock for the next couple of weeks, months, and how this stock performs. And 538 is our resistance level. This is the true number that the bulls want to break through to get further away from the 50-day moving average and hit new highs, new resistance levels, and new numbers unseen for Tesla's valuation as a company and market cap and stock price. Now, 308 is the support, and if that gets broken through, that does signify that the bears at some point in time are going to continue to tumble this down and hit new support levels and newer lows. So keep those two numbers in mind. Right now, everything in between, yes, the stock is looking bullish. They got through the 50-day moving average, and something I always state in all my videos is the 50-day moving average does not stop for anybody, and it continues to move, and it has caught up to the price by default, making this stock now fall into bearish territory. So that's very important as well. We're going to zoom in and look at that in just a second, but keep that in mind because sometimes as investors we get a little fogged up with the commotion and the excitement of, oh, this is going up, it's hitting new highs, but the 50-day moving average is catching up, and it can definitely turn the tables around, and we're going to have to see who wins this tug of war tomorrow. And then we start to forget the lows and the highs of this chart within the last couple of days and weeks. So 538 is the true resistance for this to see new highs, and 308 is our support here. That is very important. That is the lowest point since the stock split, reaching highs and then dipping down. So let's zoom in now for tomorrow's points of reference. So this actually hung out kind of sideways, and it broke through support a few times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a fifth time in the day. The bulls definitely fought hard to not allow this to break through it, but even though they fought hard for that, since they didn't do much movement in an upward direction, the 50-day moving average caught up to it, and it's slightly above right now the closing price. And it's just by a couple of cents, so this can turn around, and this isn't something like significant to say, oh, the bears have won, and they gained control. But this is going to change things on how we pay close attention to this stock. So let's move this to its new points, and let's move this to its new points. Now, that resistance level there is the highest point the stock has reached, and I'm going to speak about that in just a second. But before we get into that, I want to really zoom in here and want us to see what points to be cautious of and aware of for tomorrow. So closed out at 44, right? 444.55. And the 50-day moving average is slightly above that. It is 444.70. I mean, this is off by a couple of cents. It's not something crazy or big numbers or outrageous, difference. but it is by default in bearish territory because it closed out slightly below it. So 444 with 70 cents needs to get broken through so this can get back into bullish territory and get out of the bears' control here. Now, if the bears start to pull this one away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction, they're going to want to break through support. And this is the lowest point the stock has reached in the day, and that is 433.67. If 433.67 gets broken through, this is being pulled away by the 50-day moving average in a downward direction, and it will start to test newer lows and new support levels. Even if the bulls were to reappear, they have to come in strong and hefty to break through the 50-day moving average, and that's not where they're going to have to finish. They're going to need to turn that into support and start to work their way up. So I want to emphasize how important it is to pay close attention to 433.67 because that is the lowest point after this bullish run. And since this bullish run was pretty strong and very volatile in an upward direction, I mean, we have very few support levels to look at. The next one right there is not too far away. It's like $3 away. So if it breaks through 433, the Bears are going to do their best to break through the next $3, which is 430. And if they do that, our next support level is way down here at 396. So that gets things very broad. So I'd pay very close attention to how this reacts between 433 if it breaks through it and 430. Is it kind of hanging out sideways or the bulls trying to reappear? Because if it breaks through 430, this may test newer lows and reach new support levels. Now, on the other hand, we have what the bulls want, and the bulls are going to want to break through 457.80. 457.80 being broken through doesn't just signify that the bulls broke through resistance, but they broke through the 50-day moving average, getting this back into bullish territory, and now they've pulled themselves in an upward direction away from it. And by breaking through 457.80 and turning into support, the bulls can be on their way to work up to newer highs. By accomplishing that, the next point I'd pay very close attention to is 461. That's the highest point this stock reached yesterday, and 461 needs to be broken through to be turned into a support, and this stock will start to see newer highs and reach newer levels of resistance. As always, keep in mind though that in the previous times there were other resistance levels above that, and I'm going to go ahead and point it out anyway so you guys can have a very broken down analysis here for the next couple of days as well to keep in mind. Obviously, we're going to have to continue seeing these charts daily, but at least you'll have some sense of direction if these numbers are broken through. 482.58 is the next resistance level after that, and if that gets broken through, then the next one is obviously 538 and some change, just to round it down, 538, and this will start to see newer highs and new resistance levels. But before all that happens, 457.80 needs to be broken through, turn into support, and by doing that, the bulls have significantly pulled away from the 50-day moving average in an upward direction. We're going to have to see how this one plays out tomorrow. Hope you guys found this video helpful and informative, and it means you all well. If you feel inclined or encouraged to subscribe, don't forget to click on the bell for me so that you guys can receive notifications and turn it on by not missing a single video that I post. You guys will be up to date on every single chart analysis that I do for every ticker symbol. It's always good to check out what's going on in other sectors of the market, or even likewise type of ticker symbols. And like, for example, I do Tesla, I do Workhorse, and I do Neo and stuff like that. And sometimes I do other EV companies so that you guys can compare and see the behaviors that are going on in these other charts. They all don't necessarily correlate with each other, but they do have something to do in common, and it's the same sector, and that way you can see what's going on in other areas of it. Don't forget to share this with your friends and community. Don't forget to hit the like button for me to let me know you watched this video. And thank you guys so much for watching. And let's make some money. At the end of this video, there's going to be a pop-up video. I highly encourage you guys to click on it. It's going to be about the stocks, Federal Reserve being pumped, and the dates when they do it, Very informative information. For those of you that have overlooked it or missed out on it, I highly encourage you guys to check it out, and I hope it's worthwhile to you guys as well. Check it out. It's about to pop up. Just click on it, and you guys will be able to see all the great information I have there. And it's a weekly series that I'm doing, so don't miss out on it.